Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Let's look at day 2, the elimination method. Now, I say there's 3 levels to the elimination method, and I'm going to do one example of each level, and then I'll do an extra example at the end. So I'm going to do a total of 4 examples here. So I'm going to call this level 1. All right, we're going to eliminate one of the variables by adding the equations. The reason I call this a level 1 is because we do not have to do anything special to either one of these equations. We're just going to go ahead and draw a line underneath them, and we're going to add them together. And when we do that, I have a 5x. And then notice, ladies and gentlemen, the 4y's cancel each other out. That's why I call this a level 1, because one of the variables automatically disappears. And that's going to equal 15. Cool. So what is x? Well, divide by 5, and x is equal to 3. Wow, that was fast. I already found one of the answers to this solution. All right. Now, some of you may like this method better, but the substitution method that we did in the last video sometimes is easier to use than this method. Okay, so please realize there's a trade-off. All right, so you look at a problem and go, okay, I can do this one with substitution, or I can do it with elimination. So recognizing the problem is part of the battle of knowing what to do here. All right. Now you'll notice that both of those variables had numbers attached to it. That's why I'm using the elimination method. All right, let's keep going. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one of those equations. Okay, it doesn't matter which one. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick, and I like to avoid negatives. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pick the top one. All right, so I'm going to replace the x with a 3. So here we go. So I'm going to take 3. I'm going to replace the x with 3. And it doesn't matter. If you want to use the other equation, please go ahead. Now remember, if I'm going too fast, hit that pause button so you can keep up. All right, so I'm going to replace that x with a 3. Well, algebra time, folks. I'm going to go ahead and solve for y. So now I've got 9 plus 4y equals 12. I'm going to subtract the 9. So 4y equals, what is that, 3? Oh, and we're going to end up with a fraction. That's okay. Fractions are fine. Okay, I would prefer a fraction answer than a decimal answer, but if you really want to put 0.75 there, go ahead. All right, so here's our solution, folks. That's where they cross each other. They cross each other at 3 3/4. Now, if you want, you could check them by plugging them back into the equation. Okay? I showed that in the substitution method. That's the only time I'm going to show that. So if you need to go watch that again in the substitution method on how to check it. All right, moving on. This next one, I call this a level 2 problem. Now, the reason I call it a level 2 problem is because I have to change one of the equations. You're going, well, why? Okay, well, look. All right, if I just add these together, I get 6x plus 7y equals 10. Oops. That's not going to work because I have to eliminate one of the equations. All right, so let me erase this because that's not going to work, folks. All right, so now this is the tricky part. I have to figure out, well, how can I eliminate one of the equations? Well, I notice right here, folks, that this is a positive 4 and this is a positive 2 on top. Okay, so what I'm thinking here, folks, is I want the top I want that to become a negative 4x, so that on the bottom it will cancel with the positive 4x. Think about it. 2x and 4x, I can change that 2x into a negative 4. So how do I do that? Well, that means, ladies and gentlemen, I'm multiplying that top equation by negative 2. So I have to multiply that to everything by negative 2. So that means this 5y is now going to become minus or plus negative 10y, and the 14 is going to become a negative 28. Okay, rewind and watch that again if you didn't quite get it. The bottom is going to stay 4x plus 2y equals a negative 4. If I change one thing in an equation, I have to change all of them. Now it's a level 1, folks. Okay, it's now become a level 1 because the x's are going to disappear. This becomes negative 8y equals negative 32. Isn't that beautiful? Math is so beautiful. All right, we're going to divide by negative 8. And so we find out that the y is positive 4. Now, I'm going to take that 4 and I'm going to plug it into, it doesn't matter which one, but I'm going to take this 4 and I'm going to plug it into this bottom equation. Okay, you could pick the top equation if you wanted to. Okay, but I'm going to pick the bottom one. So here we go. So I'm going to take the 4x plus 2, and I'm going to replace the y with the 4. All right, it's algebra time. Here we go. 4x plus, let's see, I think that's going to be 8. 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract 8, so let's see, 4x equals negative 12. Divide by 4. And we find out that x equals negative 3. Isn't that great? Cool. And again, if you wanted to check it, you could plug it back into those equations and see that it works. All right, let's keep going. All right, so guess what? There's a level 3. Level 3, ladies and gentlemen, means we have to change both equations. Now, it doesn't matter which variable you want to eliminate. You could eliminate x or y. The key here is, though, one needs to be positive, one needs to be positive, one needs to be negative, so that they eliminate, right? Okay, so let's take a look. So we've got 3x and negative 5x. Here we've got negative 4y and 3x. You know what? I'm going to show you how to do it with both. Okay, I'm only going to solve it once, but I'm going to show you that you could eliminate the x or you could eliminate the y. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with eliminating the x. All right, so I'm going to get rid of these arrows here. So, all right, so let's see here. These two, let's see, what do they have in common? 15. Oh, so I want the top to be a 15x and I want the bottom to be a negative 15x. Okay. So what am I multiplying by? Well, on the top equation, I have to be multiplying by 5 because 3 times 5 is 15. And on the bottom equation, I have to be multiplying by a 3. Again, they're already opposites. So, okay, so here we go. So now I'm going to finish the top. So 5 times the minus 4y, that would be minus 20y, equals, oh, we've got a fairly large number here. Let's see, 5 times the negative 37, that's going to be negative 185. Okay, now the bottom one. So let's see, I'm going to multiply the 3. I already multiplied it to the negative 5. So 3 times 3y, that's 9y equals, and 3 times 14 is 42. All right, now it's a level 1 problem, folks. And again, you have to have a positive and negative to eliminate. So this is now gone. Positive and negative 15 are gone. Adding these two together, we have negative 11y equals, and let's see, adding those together, we have negative 143. Divide by negative 11, and we end up with y equals 13. All right. Now, I'm going to take the 13, let's see, let's use blue. I'm going to take the 13 and I'm going to plug it into the bottom one. I'm not going to pick one of my new equations because the numbers, I don't like big numbers, okay? I'm going to pick one of the bottom equations. So I'm going to replace, I'm not going to color code here. I'm going to replace the y with 13. So negative 5x plus 3 times 13 equals 14. All right, folks, to save a little bit of time, I'm just going to go ahead and give you that answer. So you go ahead and make sure you agree with me. So I end up with x equals positive 5. So the solution is 5, 13. Now, I do want to show you that you could have gotten rid of the y. So I'll just get you started here, but I'm not going to complete it. We'll end up with the same answer. So let's say you wanted to get rid of the y variable instead of the x variable. Okay, you want to get rid of this one. Well, 4 and 3 have 12 in common, right? So this one on top, there's already a minus in front, so I would want that to be minus 12y, and the bottom one, I would want that to be a plus 12y. Well, what am I multiplying the top by to get that? Well, the top I'm multiplying by positive 3, right? So that means this would be 9x equals, let's see, can't do that one in my head. Negative 37 times 3 is negative 111. And then the bottom one, you would be multiplying by a positive 4. So that would be negative 15x plus 12y equals, let's see, I should be able to do 14 times 4 in my head, but I'm not going to because I don't want to make a mistake. All right, there we go. So now the y's disappear, and if you solve, you're going to get the exact same answer. You're going to get 5, 13. All right, let's keep going here. I want this video to possibly be shorter than the last one. All right, yep, last example. So in this situation, I'm looking at it and I'm going, 2x minus 6y equals 12. We've got negative 5x plus 15y equals negative 30. Well, I think I'm going to want to get rid of the x because I don't want to work with that 15 and the 6. All right. So that means I want the 2y to become, what do 2 and 5 have in common, folks? 10. Okay, well, I want the top one to become a 10x, and I want the bottom one to become a negative 10x. So what am I multiplying by? Well, on top, I'm multiplying by a 5, and on the bottom, I'm multiplying by a 2. All right, so 10x minus, let's see, 5 times 6 is 30. Equals, and 5 times 12, I believe, is 60. And on the bottom, negative 10x, and then 2 times 15, that would be 30y. And then on the bottom, that would be, oh, wow, check this out. The x's eliminate, the y's eliminate, and this eliminates. So 0 equals 0. Oh, hey, we just learned about that in the last video. What does that mean? Well, that is a true statement, right? that means there are infinite solutions. That means these two lines are the same line. They're right on top of each other. Okay, you can't tell them apart if we would graph them. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now remember, if they don't equal each other, they are parallel lines. There are no solutions. If you end up with two numbers, okay, let me go over that one more time. If you would end up with like 10 equals 12, okay, that means no solution. That means those lines are parallel. All right, ladies and gentlemen, good luck. See you in the next video.